Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
Alright, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Chutes and Ladders podcast.
Chutes and Ladders, AEW Revolution recap. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hey friends, it's Desiree Josen.
Okay, we're just gonna get right into this. Overall, seemed like a very solid show. What are your initial thoughts, Des?
Yeah, so far so good. It's a good start of the year, and I heard some pretty decent reviews and a couple of matches that we aren't surprised by. So, yeah, let's get to it.
Sounds good. All right, first match we're going to cover, MJF versus Hangman Page. This got raving reviews. What do you think?
I heard it was a lot of fun, and from the spots that I could see, it's typical MJF and Adam Page. Typical moves, and MJF mocking him. But I was really thinking that MJF would win. But they surprised us, and I believe he hit him with the buckshot lariat, but it was the... what is it called? The Angel's Wing finisher that made him face plant. That was hilarious to see.
Yeah, I actually kind of applaud creators' decision to have Hangman win. Main reason being MJF is already made. Him losing doesn't really mean that much. So if anything, I think this elevates Hangman, and I think they made the right call.
Yeah, and there's still more of a feud with them, so this will be fun to see.
All right, next match, TBS title, Mercedes Moné versus Momo. I know how you feel about Mercedes. She obviously gets the win, but what do you think about this match?
It was decent, actually. I thought Momo was a good opponent for her. There was a lot of kickouts and a lot of counters against her moneymaker, which I really liked. So it wasn't like an immediate finisher. She retained yet again. Shocker. It is what it is, but it was an overall decent match.
Yeah, and it looks like I think they want Mercedes to retain the title for quite some time, potentially to build more credibility to the actual title. So I don't have a problem with it. I think that it's what we both expected anyway.
Yeah.
All right, next match. Number one contender match, Swerve versus Ricochet. This was pretty hot. I definitely, from what I saw, loved it. What do you have to say?
Yeah, the only thing was I was just unsure if they needed a number one contender match on here.
I kind of was thinking the same thing, to be honest with you.
I was kind of confused by that, especially when the actual championship title was already on the line on this pay-per-view, so I was like, maybe this should have been a Dynamite kind of thing.
100%.
Just because their match cards are so large. So that was my only really negative about it. I'm not a big fan of Ricochet. I'm always after Swerve, but they both put on a show. They're high flyers, and I loved the whole mix-up with Prince Nana and his robe and Swerve accidentally hitting him. And there were people towards the end when he did win thought he was going to turn, but he didn't. So yeah, it was a pretty solid match.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I love Ricochet because of his athletic ability. I'm telling you, if he fixed his mic work, I think he would be a star. It's yet to be seen at the moment. Yeah, I love Swerve as well. I thought it was cool that they actually matched two guys with the same skill sets. But overall, awesome match. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. This should have been on a weekly show, not a pay-per-view. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, Continental Championship, Brody King versus Okada. What do you think about this?
I thought it was pretty good. Size wise, just because Brody is so big, and then Okada, I mean, is very similar in size, and the strikes. I mean, there was nothing really major that stuck out to me. It was just one of those okay matches. But I know, who was it? Okada, tried to hit him with the belt, and he just hits him with the Rainmaker. So I mean, nothing surprising. So yeah, it was an okay match.
Yeah, for sure. Same thing. Actually, hold on. And you know what? Let's actually rewind real quick. So MJF versus Hangman, you would give that an A, correct?
Yeah, just because of how entertaining it was. Yes.
Okay. And then Mercedes versus Momo, I'm giving that about a B minus.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, it was okay. I'd give it a B minus as well.
Okay. Okay. And then Swerve versus Ricochet, probably a B plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
B.
Got. And then the Brody Okada match, I'm kind of giving it a B. I think that's fair.
I was gonna give it like a C plus.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. All right, next match, tag titles. All right, Lashley and Benjamin, they retain against the Outrunners. Many people on social media were huge fans of the Outrunners, mainly because the video they just posted, I kind of was digging it myself. But yeah, Shelton, Bobby and Shelton retain. What are your thoughts on this?
I like the Outrunners. They are so much fun. They are so nostalgic, and everyone is rooting for them. And plus, of course, Bobby and Shelton are just heels and just such jerks and so cocky. But I mean, it was a pretty decent match. I mean, it was okay. I know Turbo did like it reminded me of Taker, where he walks on the rope, and it was like an arm wringer kind of thing. Yep. But I know Lashley hit them with like multiple spears and knocked him out. So, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer that they were going to win. So,
no, it makes sense. Yeah, and I think Outrunners are great. I don't think they're ready yet, but they will win the titles very shortly. Yeah. I think. Agreed. All right, so what would you give this match?
I'd give it like a B.
Yeah, I think B is fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are rolling in to Toni Storm versus Mariah May. I wanted to have a show-stopping moment for this because this, I already know, will be match of the year, at least in that conversation. One of the best matches in AEW history. Wow, wow. Both of us have raved about both these women, and they really brought it. Yeah, this is by far the best match of AEW this year, and one of the greatest of all time. So, I'm a spoiler alert: A plus.
Absolutely. Social media was blowing up during this match, and it was 100% good reason. This should have been the main event of the night. No doubt. Like you said, it's going to be match of the year, probably one of their top rated matches of all time. And let me tell you this, I'm going to say this very bluntly. Toni Storm and Mariah May's back must be hurting for carrying AEW.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's not even just the company, it's the women's division. They are holding it down for All Elite Wrestling. And that's the reason I continue to watch now, is solely because of them. Yeah. And no disrespect to the rest of the talent. They're doing their best. However, these girls are showstoppers. They proved it. It was an amazing match, full of color, lots of blood, power bombs off of the stage, power bombs onto a champagne glass into the ring. And it's just true storytelling. These girls are just phenomenal. I know y'all are probably tired of hearing us say it, but we love both of them.
Yeah, and the spots in those matches that were just bloody. Oh, wow. Hats off.
Amazing.
Yeah, they tore the house down. I mean, I don't think I even have to ask, but what grade would you give this?
A plus.
Absolutely. All right, international title. This was a little bit of a swerve, no pun intended, but Kenny Omega versus Takeshita, and Omega gets that W and wins the title.
Yeah. I wasn't a big... It didn't do a lot for me. I know everyone loved this match. I think it's just because I'm not a big Kenny Omega fan, so I'm not as impressed. I'm impressed by what he can do, but not that much. But I know there was a really cool spot with a twisting tombstone. And I thought that was pretty cool watching that play back. And then it was just like multiple roll ups. And then finally Kenny wins. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. And, the crowd went crazy as soon as he won. So, yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah, I thought it was time for Kenny Omega to get a title. I thought I applaud creative for making that call. What grade would you give this match?
I'd probably give it a B plus.
I'm gonna give it A-. I really thought this was pretty strong.
That's fair.
Yeah, so and again, I applaud creative for giving Omega this run, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. You just mentioned that you watch solely for Tony Storm, Brian May. I'm with you, but I'm going to add one more name, and that's Ospreay. Ospreay versus Scott Fletcher in the Steel Cage. This was Will Ospreay brings it like always. I don't think I've seen a bad match from him. What do you have to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a banger, and it was so funny that they both started at the top of the cage. So you're like, what are they going to be doing? But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, they're both really great in the ring, and they match each other's styles very well. So I just felt like it was a very complimentary match for both of them. I did like the Spanish Fly leap from the top of the cage into the ring, and then it was Will put like the barbed wire on his elbow, and it was just those little things that I liked. That's what a steel cage match is about. So yeah, I give this an A-.
100%. And you hit the nail on the head. We said that already with Swerve and Ricochet. I'm going to say the same thing here. When you match two skill sets that are very similar, particularly when they are super athletic, you're going to have really fun spots. So I love this match. Giving it an A. Again, I don't think I've seen a bad match from Will, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So love it.
I don't think so either.
Okay. AEW World Championship, Mox versus Adam Copeland. Yikes. This was by far, this was such a lackluster. I had higher expectations for this. Yikes. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we all did. As soon as we saw who was going to be against who, we're like, oh, this is going to be a phenomenal match. And social media took storm to this, and I feel like they could have all done better. Just everything. It just felt a little sloppy. There was no pace to it. It just didn't make sense. And then with Christian coming in and cashing in his stuff and then passing out, and then Moxley pinning Christian, and then Edge is there, and then Swerve is looking. It's like all over the place, and I know what they're trying to do, but it just didn't.
It was not executed well at all.
I could see their big picture, and I know what they're trying to set up, but it could have been executed way better.
Yeah. All right. So how harsh are you going to be for grading this match?
Maybe like a C-.
Yeah, I'm going C-, and I would be even more harsh, but I do like Mox and Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why. If this was anybody else, they would get a failing grade. Oh yeah, just what a missed opportunity.
Rough.
I really do hope they have a rematch just so we can forget about this match collectively.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I was like, was Christian supposed to waste his cash in or whatever that was? And then, I mean, I know that's going to open up something with Adam Copeland just because he technically wasn't pinned. And then Swerve being the number one contender from the night, and Mox. So are we doing a triple threat? What are we going to do? But I just feel like it could have been done so much better.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And what is your final thoughts, and what is your final grade?
Final thoughts will always be the same when it comes to AEW pay-per-views. Cut them in half, please. I will say it over and over. We don't need that many. Half of those could be on Dynamite and Collision, so let's fix that. Stellar match with Tony and Mariah. Flawless. Yeah, that's what saved. I really feel like that's what saved this pay-per-view. I mean, overall, I'll give it a B. It wasn't terrible, but it could have been a little bit better.
Gotcha. So I know we criticized the matches that need to be criticized, but I think overall I'm going to give it an A-. I thought it was overall very solid. Listen, Mariah and Tony brought it. Yeah. They raised the floor and ceiling. So hats off to them for doing that. I'll give it an A- simply for that. But you know what? Listen, in the future, they really need to have them as the main eventer, and they could totally pull it off.
Absolutely. And if they were the main event for last night, it would have been a hit. I mean, it still was, but after seeing that should have been the main event.
1,000. Okay, that wraps up this episode. What are your thoughts on Revolution? Please DM us at the Chutes and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe, both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Josen.
All right, until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.
Chutes and Ladders. Follow us for more content.